Hello! Welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilka. I'm an empath, and I just like doing these little talks on how I feel about things, because I feel everything. I feel so much all the time. Anyway, it's not such a bad thing. I'm kind of used to it now. What I wanted to do first, I wanted to promote my homie, my friend Saul. He puts on a good show, and it's happening this weekend, Shasta Renaissance Fair and Fantasy Fair, September 7th and 8th, Shasta District's Fairgrounds down in Redden. And one day I'll go and I'll take pictures. I met him a couple weeks ago. Known him for years. He came up to Oregon for one, he and his wife Allison, and they put that show on, and they get all kinds of entertaining folks. Jugglers, met the juggler. They got people that freaking fight with fire and stuff like that. All kinds of cool stuff, for anyone who wants to expand their imagination, And there's lots of ways to do it if you need some help, Saul's a great party planner. I think I'd be a good party planner too. Maybe one day because I've already planned a couple parties in my time, I used to go be involved in a group where they celebrated recovery, because some of us are allergic to alcohol. Not all of us, but some of us are allergic to alcohol, and we break out in handcuffs. So, it took me some doing, but I finally got that it's easier to stay out of trouble than get out of trouble, so it ain't my path anymore. But, one thing I wanted to talk about is in this incarnate, we all incarnate, we're all born or hatched or whatever, come to be, and we have an experience, we have a path, and within us we have a spark, and our spark is, I picture, like our spirit, like I'm picturing San Francisco and cable cars, and we're in our own autonomous vessel, our soul sat going through, which is like the cable car, and we're hooked into the circuit, the main circuit board, which is source, higher power. Call it what you want, call it God. Some people call it Allah, some people call it Buddha, some people call it it's just something outside of yourself that you can plug into when you're tapped out, when you got nothing else, you got no juice left. What do you do? Where do you go? All the stuff that you keep trying isn't working. What do you do? What I do is I get quiet, I meditate, and that plugs me into that source that's bigger than myself. And when I get plugged in, it gives me a sense of peace and ease, and that peace and ease, with that comes clarity with taking the next right action. So when you get quiet, ego doesn't like quiet. Ego likes loud and flashy and look at me and la la la, property, money, prestige. Ego likes that. Ego don't like quiet. So when you get quiet like that, ego's off doing something else, So that's where you get to connect with what's for your highest good. Because our egos get us into, my ego got me into so much trouble, had me thinking I had to live my life entirely different. And what did it serve? It made gross old plastic dudes richer. Me freaking crooking my back made a whole lot of old dudes freaking richer that I will never meet. They don't care about me. And then the thing is, we all got personal choice, and people are so uncomfortable right now. I attribute that to them not believing. Because where do people learn? Where do people learn to go to live outside themselves? Where is it happening? I've always looked. Mom would take us to churches and stuff, and I would just wander off and go climb trees and things like that. My brother would have to go in and get Mom out of the church. Be like, Mom, come get Marge is in a tree. Yeah, she'll be fine. No, Mom, Marge is really in a tree. I was like 2 or 3 when this happened, because I just start going. I climb and climb and climb, and then I'd think about looking down and how I'd have to come down, and that was scary. But as you can tell, I don't live in a tree, so I got past that fear too, you know. We all live this human experience. Our spirits are just living this human experience just to try things, you know. And you can try and keep the negative parts of life from happening. You can try and keep yourself protected in a little box, you know, where things don't happen, where, you know, you don't have to have personal relationships with people, so you never have to get hurt. And maybe if you treat people a kind of way, then, you know, you can keep building yourselves in these walls of boundaries for your own higher good, you know. But what I found for me is when I got good with me, the need to protect myself came away. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna freaking, you know, don't, people get things twisted so much. I'm not gonna let somebody freaking hurt me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it frees you up when you remove a lot of fears from your life that are imposed upon you from others. It frees you up to enjoy things that you've never been able to enjoy before. That's what I'm saying. So, but security, people think security and like money, they look at them like they're the same thing, and they're quite frankly simply not. You know, I read energy. I teach people to read energy. People know when people are lying to them. They just want to believe that they're so important that said individual isn't going to lie to them, that they're going to be special and different. Well, to a liar, they don't care. You know, people are. I've been seeing these. I keep seeing these like memes and stuff that say, you know, happiness is just minding your own business. Horse blinders is happiness. So me going through my life, and I'm just gonna look at things that I want to look at to make me happy, knowing full well that like freaking 70% of Grand Island, Bahamas is underwater, and all. Just think of the insurmountable number of loss of life. But if I just look at it like this, I'm just gonna be happy because this is what life is all about. Remember that source that I was talking about? That source, all of our spirits are connected to it, whether people know or aware of the connection or not. So when people vibe low, our spirits, just think of it, everybody's spirit in one, it's the sum of all averages, okay? So you got high vibers and low vibers, and you put all the collection of them together, and the balance of the majority wins. So when you have a society where more people care about money than people and spirit, and that connection, that we're all connected, that's the imbalance. So this is the world we get. It's when people come back into balance with themselves, then they come back into balance with community and spirit. Yeah. Isn't it weird that you have these mega churches that rake in freaking millions and millions of dollars a year to spread the message of what I'm doing here for free on my YouTube? They collect millions of dollars, and then the governments, you know, they have special cooperations with the governments so they don't get taxed and all this stuff. And, you know, and then when things happen in the community, people are supposed to go to the churches, or, you know, be able to go to the churches and for help, and then they go to churches, and then the churches remind them, dear brothers and sisters, now is the time that you need to turn to God. And then they keep all their money and keep buying themselves bigger houses and bigger, you know, bigger places of worships, and again, you are paying for their ego. It's a learning process, you know. It's not like I freaking knew all this stuff, but at least I think about all the hours. I think about all the hours that I have spent in researching. I've put in the work. I've been diligent. I've been, you know, when a lot of people are out having a lot of fun, I've been studying a lot of this spiritual stuff, you know, and putting it into practice and testing it here and there, you know, while everyone else is like collecting their I voted sticker. Go Big Red! All that, you know, while they're doing all that, I've been collecting data on spirituality and energy and how people work with other people, you know. And now the world's shorting out, and I'm like, well, this is how you can, you know, navigate through it. And people are like, I don't know what to do. We need teachers. We need spiritual guys. I'm like, well, you can go. You can try this. I was raped when I was a baby and molested and had all these terrible things happen to me, and I'm happy today. I didn't let it ruin me. I didn't take that hurt and end up having 8 kids and I turned to alcohol and drugs, but I came back into it, and God willing the creek don't rise, I'll be able to help more people in recovery too. I come from all this life experience in these people that just have very little, and then something happens and it ruins their whole world, and it's just like the world is only going to get crazier. It's the age of Aquarius. What are people going to do? Let's just play a little game of what if. What are people going to do if, say, let's just say, for instance, there's a percentage of population that believes like me. We have stardust in our DNA. It's in us. Stardust. We're all from the stars, right? What if our relatives come back for a family reunion? What if all, like me and all these other people that are taking these pictures of anomalies, of these cloud anomalies in the sky, they veil themselves in energy. They're unidentified objects because they aren't clouds, and people know it because they don't feel like clouds. People know what's true to them. So more and more people are coming up with these space anomalies, and what if this veil between reality and perceived reality, and it's just all this woo-woo. What if the veil comes tumbling down, and what if people wake up and their relatives are out, parked above their house ready for a family reunion, What if? The whole world knows we're not alone in this world. They just don't want to accept that the people that don't know it or believe it just are in their little shell of protection, I'm not worried about what anyone or any being outside of this earth would ever do to me, because when you look around at what humanity does to each other for profit, we're kind of really the scoundrels if you look at it, if you want to really be honest about it. How many people are going to look at themselves? No, because people are just doing their jobs. They hide behind, that little extra force making that arrest, that little extra you didn't have to add, that little extra correction on your kid you didn't have to do, all that stuff. It can't be hidden. People are being shown for who they are, so a lot of people, the good old boy, the nice guy, the good old gal, the grandma type, all these people that just were too good to be true, people are finding out they're not. So, but energy doesn't lie, and I can teach people how. Not a lot of people come forward and say, Marge, teach me, but it's all divine timing. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.